You're doing amazing. We have a topic that I know that is near and dear to my heart. Because as I was growing up and I watched, all my relatives, my grandparents, the people around me, we were sort of given that idea that, guess what?
What?
Everybody else in my family has diabetes. So guess what? I'm going to get diabetes no matter how I live. And yes, it might hurt me, but this is basically it. So who cares how you eat? Who cares how you live? But unfortunately, diabetes is affecting the world.
Right.
It's craziness. 537 million adults from the ages of 20 to 79 years are living with diabetes. That's 1 in 10. That's crazy. And this number is predicted to rise to 643 million by 2030, and by 2040, 783 million. Over 3 in 4 adults will live with these diabetes. This is ridiculous. And most of them actually live in the low and the middle income countries.
Right.
And that's what's craziness. So I know that my father, my father-in-law, all my grandparents all suffered with this chronic condition. But that's the key. We don't have to suffer with this.
No, you don't.
We can be empowered with this. So I am so incredibly honored to be part of 43 of these amazing experts, 42 amazing experts on this free diabetes transformation summit that is coming up, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and link this. And जो उर्दू में बात करना चाह रहे हैं हम वो भी कर सकते हैं. Diabetes is killing people. Diabetes is hurting people. It's destroying families. It destroys almost every organ system in the body. We need to create change today. And there's so much that we can do to thrive with diabetes. And guess what? I have the perfect guest with us today. She's the host of the Free Diabetes Transformation Summit, Dr. Beverly Yates. Thank you so much, Dr. Beverly, for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. Medea. I really appreciate being here and being with your audience. This issue with diabetes, you're right. This is a growing epidemic. It is a problem. It's international in scope, and it's affecting so many people. And we have to turn this around. These kinds of illnesses and the severity and the loss of life, the loss of functional body parts, the loss of quality of life and number of years, like life in your years and years in your life, it impacts so many things, right? Blood sugar regulation is a central thing. It affects everything. Nothing is spared in the body. But here's the good news. I don't want people to feel too depressed or doom and gloom, because that's not helpful.
No.
What's specific about diabetes compared to other chronic illnesses is that it is super sensitive to the daily choices we make, the foods we eat, the time of day we eat our meals, our exercise and kinds of exercise that are helpful or not helpful for blood sugar regulation, sleep. Oh my goodness, we could spend hours just talking about the importance of sleep for blood sugar control. And then, of course, stress levels. Around the world, many people are feeling really stressed at this moment in time. And we have to find ways to do things that are healthy to relieve our stress, because if we don't, the feelings of stress and the cortisol, the stress hormones that get released, they raise that blood sugar. So there's a lot of ways to become a person who has type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. There's a stereotype that people party their way there, and often that's not actually the truth. That's not their lived experience.
No.
Chronic unrelieved stress, trauma, sleep problems, sleep apnea, prior existing inflammatory problems, lack of the right kinds of exercise to help with blood sugar regulation, eating meals in a way that doesn't help you to have good blood sugar control, having the wrong kinds of food in the wrong proportions. There's many ways to have this problem show up in your life. And what is shocking to me, Dr. Medea, is that we're seeing kids show up with this problem. Kids as young as 8 or 9 are showing up with type 2 diabetes, which was unheard of when you and I went through medical school, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just during this pandemic, just look at what happened. Diabetes has doubled in children just during this pandemic. Doubled. That diabetes type 2 So this is
It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yes.
And for folks who have prediabetes, don't be sitting there smiling, telling yourself, "Oh, it's only prediabetes." Listen, it's a spectrum phenomenon, and sometimes people have some of the worst outcomes who have prediabetes, not necessarily type 2 diabetes. And for our friends who have type 1, which is an autoimmune onset, pancreas doesn't make insulin anymore. There's plenty of great information available in the summit for anyone who is interested in blood sugar regulation and blood sugar control, and looking at all the different avenues in which this can become an issue and what you can do to help yourself to live a healthier life, to live longer. As I like to say, you want to live long and live well, but it's more important to put life in your years and years in your life. So you need to know the basics, like your muscles are blood sugar sponges. You have to have active working muscles engaged doing something pretty much every day if you want to have that blood sugar regulation, right? That's one. Sleep is an important factor. So is stress. Nutrition, sometimes we're dragged to crave or desire certain foods that really are going to be a problem, but that's not always the case. What if you're eating foods, it turns out, that don't agree with you? You think it's healthy because somebody else told you it was healthier. It was on a glycemic index chart, but your body specifically is having a blood sugar roller coaster, a big spike reaction to eating that healthy food. That's why we say test, don't guess. And we talk about this throughout the entirety of the summit using glucometers. I'm a fan of a continuous glucose monitor, if you can get it, a CGM, because you get fantastic health data. And it's good to just observe and notice those trends. So in the summit, we've got something for the youngest. We talk about dentistry. We talk about the importance of breastfeeding and developing that oral airway so you don't wind up with sleep apnea in your later years, right? We talk about things for teens and people going through puberty. In fact, Dr. Medea here is one of our rock star speakers, and she talks specifically about what things are like for people in their teen years and middle school years into high school who are going through that transition into puberty. What is normal for their blood sugar control and what's problematic and what parents need to look out for, right? Then we talk about folks in their 20s and 30s on through 40s, 50s, 60s, and older. We talk about things that are specific to men's health, things specific to women's health. We talk about hormonal balance, including other hormones like the thyroid system, for instance, metabolism, etc. And in this summit, there's two things you will notice that are distinctly different. One is we don't insult anybody at any point with this whole idea of eat less and move more, because everybody knows that. It's no longer that simple, friends. Okay. You
Exactly.
need more nuance. We got to deal with how we live our lives now in 2022, not 1940. The other thing that isn't here is that we specifically, I made sure as the person is the host, we don't demonize food. So there's no specific food groups that have been abandoned. You have to find the nutrition that lets you be healthy and thrive.
Yeah,
And it is
everybody's
different for
different.
all of us. Even with twins and triplets, they don't all eat the same things and have
No.
the same healthy response. It's fascinating, right? Same gene pool, same environment they grow up in, they still have different responses.
Absolutely. And this is where with 42 experts, that is amazing because these people are at the top of their game.
Right.
And we have neurologists like Dr. Perlmutter. Please tell us who else we have. I know. I can't wait to hear his session.
It's a wonderful list of experts, right? Dr. Medea, you're one of our experts. You're on there. Dr. David Perlmutter, he's on there, a well-known neurologist who really believes in people leading healthy, active, long lives. We have JJ Virgin, who comes to us from the celebrity nutrition world, again, being focused on the idea of food as medicine and medicine as food. We have all sorts of experts who bring so much amazing knowledge to the table, whether they come from the realm of immune function and chronic immune problems, people who have co-infections, things like that, like say Dr. Tom Moorcroft in Lyme disease. We have people who have gut health expertise. That would include Sinclair Canelli and Laura Frontiero. We have people who have innovative ways to approach nutrition to help people figure out what might be happening that's causing food sensitivities and food intolerances based on their blood type. So that's Dr. Sam Price's talk. We have such a host of experts from many different points of view around health, all of them talking about things that are specific around blood sugar regulation. We have Anne Louise Johnson, who has fantastic information on sleep and on our circadian rhythm and our chronotype, what our genetic predisposition is to sleep patterns. Groundbreaking info. was new even to me around how that ties in specifically to blood sugar regulation. So if you're listening to this, if you're somebody who struggles with sleep, or you cannot figure out what the heck is going on with your blood sugar, I invite you with open arms to join us at this summit. You will have the 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 secrets revealed. I'm sure you will come away inspired and informed. And then you can take this information, take it to your health team, think about it for yourself, look at your family's journey, look at your own journey. If you've been adopted, you're included as well, because now with the genetic studies that you can do, you can get a sense of, what am I working with here? Where might my vulnerabilities be, and what do I need to be vigilant about? Or maybe life has been unkind and you're trying to, put yourself together and get on your healing journey. Now you have quantitative, real information to go with. So there's no conjecture. There's nothing here that's wacky. It's all evidence based. And the good news is that it's lifestyle centric with nutrition, stress, sleep, exercise, meal timing, spirituality, things that matter in people's lives, the importance of being in community and not being in isolation, things like that. I like to call it vitamin L, vitamin love. It's so important to have that exchange in that energy for us, because a lot of people, has been my experience, who have diabetes often have a history of being the rock in their family, in their community for a place of worship, in their workplace, wherever it is that they interact with other people. They're the ones that are the go-to person, and they often are so giving, so generous. They're tapped out. It's kind of not surprising they've got blood sugar problems. So now we have to learn to create self-care. I talk about on an airplane, you put your own air mask on first before assisting those around you. So this summit is designed with that in mind. I've had the chance to work with people for over 30 years in my clinical career and develop the Yates protocol specifically with my MIT science background, an MIT electrical engineering degree. That's right, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who became a naturopathic doctor, licensed here in California. And one of the things that I observed was, because people often have this history of giving, 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 and then they show up with blood sugar problems, is helping people to redirect some of that energy so that they're giving to themselves first. Self-care is so important. It is not selfish. You cannot help others if you're a hot mess. So self-care, it's all about it, and being informed. So that way, when you talk to your health professional, let's say you have type 2 diabetes, maybe you have an A1C that's been pegged for a few years, perhaps several years, at like 7.5, 7.8. You've been trying to improve it and you've hit a plateau. You haven't been able to get it to a lower A1C, just as one parameter. That's not the only measure that matters for blood sugar, but it's one that's pretty common for people to hear about. And let's say your doctor will not cooperate. They won't write a prescription for you if you're here in the US. You would need a prescription usually to get a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. We're going to offer programs after the summit concludes, so people have the option if they want to work with us in a group health coaching format to help you solve these issues. So we're not going to just dump a bunch of information and data on you and then run out the door. Instead, you'll also be supported, if you so choose, to go forward with us with ongoing programs that are offered after the summit. If you buy one of the packages that are there at the summit, and please, by all means, explore what it is that Dr. Medea has on that link so you can see what your offers are. You have a range of content packages that will let you access that information after the summit ends at your own convenience, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It could be the videos, audios, transcripts, etc. We all learn different ways. Take it to your other health professional team and see if they are aware of these things. It might be news for them too, right? So we can all have more knowledge and take action behind that knowledge. If you buy one of the action packages, you'll get 2 master classes after the summit has ended and have access, and we'll be on live. I'll be on there with a few of my guest speakers to take people's questions and to keep the momentum going. So now's the time. Usually people think, oh, January is when we do all our health things, Hey, this is the second bite of the apple for January. It's now July. It's not too late. It's not too late. So by all means, come join us at the Diabetes Transformation Summit, put together to reflect how people actually live in today's world. You don't have to have a perfect life. I always tell my patients it's progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. And this is where I think that's different than others, is that these are easy, doable steps that we can implement into our daily routine, because a lot of the summits there's a lot of knowledge with very limited, like there's too much knowledge sometimes. But here, this is knowledge with practical tips that you can do today.
Yeah, today.
Yes, today. And empower yourself, empower your future. There's so much hope.
So much
There's
hope.
so much
So much
hope.
hope.
So
And
much
all of our
hope.
speakers gave us downloadable PDFs. They're there for you for free. You have to register,
Yes.
sign up. That's the free part. You're going to get so much goodness for free. Then you see what you get on the paid version. You're like, whoa, let me close the gap because I want to keep access to it.
Well,
It's
on top
convenient.
of that, exactly, because remember, community,
Community.
knowledge, empowering yourself, empowering others. And you guys probably know of somebody who else has diabetes and will be benefiting from that knowledge. So please share this link. Please share this video so we can get this message out there that there is so much hope with diabetes. This summit is an amazing place to join today. It actually is coming out just on the 25th, July 25th to the 31st. Please check this out today, you guys.
Right.
I promise yes, join up now. The links are in the comments, they're in the description. Share this video, share the links, because we need more hope.
We need more hope.
The disease that is not, it doesn't seem like it's stopping. It's even affecting our children. It's affecting us. It's affecting our bodies. It's affecting our world. But guess what? There's so much hope. There's so much that we can do to thrive. This summit is the first step. So thank you so much, Dr. Yates, for joining me today on this, on this platform, because this is a subject, again, I'm very passionate about. So I cannot thank you enough for the work that you've done to bring this to the world. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And Dr. Medea Saeed, thank you so much for your generosity and your focus and your mission and your work. You're touching so many people's lives. I'm loving seeing your impact grow in the world. I appreciate you so much. Friends, if you're in a position to be generous about something, if you go and you buy one of those content packages, you can also make them a gift for other people. Because you know what?
Yes.
The summit may be saying some of the things you've been telling that friend.
Yes, this is why it's so important.
They need to hear it from somebody who's not you.
They do. They do absolutely need to.
That's a real thing, right?
They do. And that's why this is a great way as a gift, to give to a gift of health.
Absolutely.
There's no other best. So thank you so much, Dr. Yates. You guys, check it out today. You will thank us. I promise. Bye, everybody.